The Doctor, Voyager's emergency medical hologram, who grows from a temporary program into one of the ship's most alive personalities, was portrayed by Robert Picardo. He was born on October 27, 1953, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and was 41 when Star Trek Voyager premiered in 1995. The Doctor works because his story begins as a technical backup plan and becomes a search for personhood. He is sarcastic, impatient, brilliant, and often hilariously offended. But under that arrogance is a being discovering dignity, friendship, art, and autonomy. Picardo played him with perfect comic precision and surprising tenderness, turning a holographic physician into one of the franchise's most emotionally complex characters. His love of opera, his struggle for rights, and his evolving bedside manner gave the show some of its sharpest questions about artificial intelligence and identity. Before Voyager, Picardo had a strong career in film and television, including China Beach and Inner Space. Afterward, he continued acting while becoming active in science outreach and Star Trek fan communities. In 2026, he is 72, and the Doctor remains proof that humanity can emerge from the most unexpected programming. Lieutenant Tuvok, the disciplined Vulcan security officer whose logic gave Voyager a steady pulse, was portrayed by Tim Russ. He was born on June 22, 1956 in Washington, D.C. and was 38 when Star Trek Voyager began in 1995. Tuvok works because he is not a simple emotionless stereotype. He is a father, teacher, tactical officer, and longtime friend of Janeway, carrying decades of Starfleet experience beneath his controlled surface. Russ played him with restraint and subtle humor, allowing small shifts in expression to reveal loyalty, irritation, concern, and deep inner discipline. His relationships with Neelix and Janeway gave the series some of its best contrasts: logic against chaos, patience against desperation, friendship without sentimentality. Tuvok's episodes also explored Vulcan culture, memory, aging, and the strain of emotional control under extreme conditions. Beyond Voyager, Russ directed episodes, worked as a musician, acted across film and television, and remained connected to Star Trek through later appearances. In 2026, he is 69, and Tuvok still feels essential to Voyager's survival, the quiet mind holding steady while the Delta Quadrant tried to pull everyone apart. Ensign Harry Kim, the young operations officer whose idealism survived years far from home, was portrayed by Garrett Wang. He was born on December 15, 1968, in Riverside, California, and was 26 when Star Trek Voyager premiered in 1995. Harry works because he begins as the wide-eyed newcomer, fresh from Starfleet Academy, and suddenly trapped on the wrong side of the galaxy. Wang gave him sincerity, nervous humor, and emotional openness, making Harry feel like the crew member still learning what duty really costs. He never receives the promotion fans joked about for years, but that odd detail became part of his legend. Harry is loyal, technically gifted, often unlucky in romance and alternate timelines, yet he remains one of Voyager's most stable moral presences. His friendship with Tom Paris gave the series a youthful brotherly rhythm, full of jokes, mistakes, and genuine trust. After the series, Wang Seed stayed close to the Star Trek community through conventions, podcasting, and advocacy for Asian representation in science fiction television. In 2026, he is 57, and Harry Kim remains the eternal ensign, not because he lacked growth, but because his heart never hardened. Lieutenant Ayala, one of Voyager's most familiar recurring crew members and a quiet symbol of unity aboard the ship, was portrayed by Tarek Ergin. He was born on June 7, 1961, in Hingham, Massachusetts, and was 33 when Star Trek Voyager began in 1995. Ayala works because his importance comes from presence rather than speeches. As a former Maquis who becomes part of Janeway's crew, he represents the fragile merging of two groups that once stood on opposite sides of the law. Ergin appeared in more than 100 episodes, often at tactical stations, in corridors, briefings, or dangerous situations where his steady presence helped make Voyager feel like a real working ship. Fans noticed him because he was always there, reliable, professional, and silently woven into the background life of the crew. That kind of role may not dominate storylines, but it gives a long-running series continuity and texture. Ergin has remained warmly connected to the Star Trek community through conventions and fan events, where background performers are often celebrated with real affection. In 2026, he is 64, and Ayala remains a reminder that Voyager's journey home belonged to the whole crew, not only the officers in the opening credits.